Hello, this is Tyler Martin. It's May 7th, 2022. I live in Asheville, North Carolina, and this is my basement studio behind me. And I'm going to be chronicling the recording of my album From Norfair on Zebes, which I'm going to release in 2025, in either April or July. These are the instruments I will use. I just got that sampler. I've had this guitar for a long time. I've had this bass for a long time. I just got this ukulele. I don't know how much I'm going to use it. And these are the computers that I'll use to record. This is the song list. This is where the song list comes from. When I'm out and about in the world, I write it all down here, song titles and ideas. Some of these might be song titles, some of them might become lyrics, some might become both. So you don't have to watch this. I'm going to just type out all the song titles. I typed it out. As I was typing these out, I was thinking about where these song titles came from. This came from, it's the name of a soda. It came from a restaurant. These came from somewhere a long time ago. I think I might have used that title a long time ago. This song, I have a couple songs that I'm working on with that same title. This was an actual name of a store. We were driving and I asked my wife Michelle to text me that phrase. I bet you can guess where that comes from. Looking at the names, I know how the songs are going to go. And I could tell you, I might put in bold the songs that I think are going to make the strongest songs, singing and everything. And then, so that what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the bulletin. When I have the titles, I want to make sure there's like a good density of songs that are songs and songs that are just, anything happening, like an emotion or a landscape or something like that. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to go through, I'm going to bold all of them. But I think I like this alphabetical order better, especially knowing what the density of the more full productions are. So the next steps, and I will have you join me on this journey when the time comes. The next steps are, I'm going to write lyrics for all of the songs, all of the bolded songs I'm going to write lyrics for. All right, here it is, next day, Mother's Day, which is appropriate because I'm going to be writing the song Abstract Brunch, and I'm sitting on my porch. I had never sit on my porch to write music, write lyrics. We'll see what happens. Okay, here we go, Abstract Brunch. Okay, so pretty easy, just thinking of Abstract Brunch. The egg floats above my head. Menu, a dim light bulb. I wait for you. I wait. The line is out the door. So this kind of like, you kind of got like 3 stanzas, and then a chorus, and then a solo. I'll just write solo. Who knows what kind of instrument will play it. I think it'll be kind of, maybe like more dense chords than usual. I'm going to cut out some of these filler words. Don't need it. Don't need it. Don't need it. Why would I need to say the? Talk about tea, the bag of tea, Say dehydrated bag. Ooh, this is bad. Like a late discovered rat in the trap. Right, it's Monday, and this is the next track. I've got like 10 minutes, so I'm gonna give it a shot. Maybe a week later, something like that. I'm just transcribing the lyrics to Autopsy School right now. It's been a pretty busy week. All right, I'm just going to talk through this and share what I'm thinking. So, right place, wrong time, early to class on a foggy day. Drove the clouds, part the mist, breathe deep after a goodbye kiss. That's nice. Of course, I'm going to want to say moon. Tuneless groan and whistle zooming into the bruise. Whoops. The cyclone in my mouth at sea. I also would like the cyclone in my month at sea. This is kind of revision 2 of the Autopsy School lyrics. So revision, take 1 is when I'm just at work writing, because I only have a 10-minute break. Number 2, it's a little while later. And sometimes I do it later that day, sometimes I do it later that week. I'm just going to leave something there in parentheses. And when I put something in parentheses when I'm writing this, and I'll show you what that looks like. Whoa! Hold on. Parentheses. So here, when I put it in parentheses, it's like I might add that, and this one here, it's like I might replace that. So it's kind of a note to myself. Anyway, I gotta go. All right, I am rearranging. It's Saturday. I'm rearranging the space just a little bit. I'm gonna put these speakers, because I need to be able to play in the video the kinds of sounds I'm making, and I think I'm going to start making sounds pretty soon for this record. Now this shows you I didn't get my PhD in audio entanglement. So, I hate this. This is my least favorite part of recording. Nope. It's not working. Let's see. This thing here. There's a spider over here a minute ago. Okay. I think it's off now. Let's turn it on again. What are those things? RCA instrument? Now this shows you I didn't get my PhD in audio entanglement. So, I hate this. This is my least favorite part of recording. I'm going to say that a lot. Let's see. Does this work? Does this play? Let's see. Oh. All right. Good morning. It is May 22nd, and I might start recording the first things that you hear in the album today. Here's the list of songs. I got 33 songs. I had the idea the other day, and I can't always start recording one of these videos because I might be at work or lying in bed asleep or something like that. There's 33 songs. I had this idea of when I'm doing a big project like this, I want to capture all my intentions, and one of my intention is to copy the band Cabaret Voltaire. This album is so good. Mix Up is so good. Also, I like these two albums and this album. I don't like this album, and this isn't really an album. After that, I don't really like it as much. But I feel like they start with like the backing track, you know. And again, a lot of music does that, but I feel like Cabaret Voltaire being around in 1974 and stuff were the start of that. And so they came up with had some pretty unusual sounds. So I'm going to go through these song names, and I'm going to work in clusters of 3. So it doesn't make sense to go like, okay, here's 1, 2, 3, and then the next one is 1 and 2 and 3. And it doesn't make sense to say 2 is going to be pre-drums because Berries isn't going to have drums, right? All right, so 1, 2, 3. But I can say of these, Autopsy School and Bittersweet Quilts. So Autopsy School, either way, doesn't matter. I'm just going to say no drums for Berries. P, oh boy, this autocorrect, and D. Okay, I don't even know. Harmony Garden, I'm going to say no drums. Gold Mop, I'm going to say pre-drums, and then drums with. So here then you get a, like a pattern where it's like you have it kind of switching off, but it's not repeating really. It's not like drums, drums, drums. Pre-drums, pre-drums. You know, it's just, it switches out and it swaps out. And you get some nice breaths of fresh air with no drums. And that's going to be further, you're going to get more of a breath of fresh air with the, exactly what I do with each of those drums. Okay. So, I realized before I do the, it's funny. My head goes around and around. You see I changed my shirt, so I got that done. And then the next thing I did was I ran upstairs and I was looking at it because I have a few different drum machines that are in a different room, and I was like, what should I bring down? And then I was like, you know what, I realized I don't know what drum machine I need because I don't know really the feeling of this song yet. Because the song exists, I can't just be like, alright, here we go, here's a fast beat, that's going to be good, right? So here's the first notes of music you're going to hear from this guitar and this piano that's off screen. Maybe it'll be on screen, we'll see what I use. Abstract Brunch, I kind of thought about it as being like a little bit, well, not like jazzy, but just like kind of soft, maybe kind of thoughtful. So I'm going to try and, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find like just the general key, the general tempo, and then I might go along a little bit. I'm going to try and find where any of like the bumps could be for the rhythms. If you've heard any of my other stuff, the like bass rhythms are not very. There's not a ton of variation in the bass rhythms. I try to, with the electronic music component of things, I try to like be a sculptor. So it's like you have the whole beat, you know, boobits doons, boobits doons, boobits doons, and you don't start there, but you build up to it. So, you know, as like. Right, so you build up, and then eventually it's right, the guitar. So, anyway, that's probably the beat that I end up with, or the beats, hopefully, that I end up with today are going to be full beats, but then you just gradually build up to that. Okay, so I'm gonna just start kind of singing, like try to find what feels good to my voice right now. You got to be careful when you're doing this. It's at 10:26 in the morning right now, but if it was 5:30 in the morning, sometimes I write a song at 5:30. I'm gonna write a song down here. I'm gonna write a song that's kind of hard to sing other parts of the day, but if I'm writing a song any other time, it's pretty fine. There's certain times with energy. Right now, my energy feels kind of low. I got maybe 6 hours of sleep or something like that last night, so not bad, not ideal. My doctor, if I had one, would say 7 to 8. Try for 7 to 8. Some Sundays I'll get 7 or 8. Sometimes even more, but mostly not. Let's try to find a note for this. So. Egg floats above my head. Now remember, these are going to be the first sung lines of the album. I gotta blow my nose. Fuck it. Fuck it. I gotta have a stronger start. Because egg is not a very good. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the third step of So Well, that's funny, that's A. Egg floats above my head. Here's another thing. If I start writing on the guitar, it's going to be pretty harmonically simple, which is no problem, no judgment there. I don't know the chords on the guitar as well as I do on the piano. Egg floats above my head. Egg floats. Egg. Let's see. What is, and I'm thinking of egg. What is that soda drink that it's like a soda, egg? No, not egg. Egg cream soda is what I'm thinking of, but that's not what I want to use. Boiled egg, poached egg, floats above my head. Menu. Nope. Okay, so. Poached egg floats above my head. Menu of dim light bulb. See, already that's so much more harmonically interesting. So, I was working on this record called Fate of the Flange. I'm done with it now. Well, pretty much done with it. So I need to put a new folder in. Sorry for everyone that's a Mac user. I can't really talk about this in Mac terms. Okay, I clicked the wrong thing. Usually I click the right thing. That's okay. And what's this going to be called? No question. It's going to be From Norfair on Zebes. Okay, and then I'm going to start the song, and it's going to be, what song is it? No question, track 2, Abstract Brunch. Okay, all I'm doing right now, I don't need to load any files in there. I'm just going to like tap my tempo, right? Do 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 out to lunch on an abstract brunch. Do 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 do. Out to lunch on an abstract. Okay, I like 126. So I gotta write that down. So now I'm going to either go upstairs, grab a drum machine, or program it all up there. I don't know. We'll see what happens next. All right, this is where my guitars usually live. I think I'm gonna have to. I gotta figure out a place where I'm gonna put my these drum machines. Anyway, let's see what that looks like. Already you can hear I've plugged in the drum machines. Already you can hear one of them is like, what? Let me 126 was the tempo I decided on, so I'm going to start building something at 126. Alright, so in the world of not knowing what I'm doing, I'm very much at home. This is here are the sounds on one of the drum machines. Here's the other one. And of course, I'm going to be able to change all of this, but hopefully you can hear that okay. Let's see. That's kind of cool. Alright. This is not very exciting, but you gotta see me suffer, right? You gotta see me suffer. In the world of suffering, this is not very bad. Okay, so I think we are connected to MIDI in some way, so. Okay. Okay, I think we got something going on. Okay. I got another thing I can do. Let's see. I got a little drum drum pad that I use. So I could use that for drumming along also, so. The pads are louder than the thing. working in a studio like this, you gotta have a lot of cables. I don't know which one's which. I'm gonna plug these on and see what happens. Okay. 1, 2. Alright. You know, I can do anything or say anything I want, so I can even play along with it, right? Levels are looking pretty good. I don't know if you can see those levels. But they're looking pretty good, right? Okay. Yep. Just playing that by hand. Okay, that's fine. Great, this song's gonna be really good. Okay, so next thing I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna start right now, is I'm gonna start. So pre-drums, remember that was the thing. The next song that has pre-drums is Autopsy School. So I have pretty much the whole song written for. I'm gonna try to do 3 songs. My goal is gonna be 3 songs today. So I'm gonna work on Autopsy School next, and then I'm gonna work on City of Crossword Puzzle. In City of Crossword Puzzle, there's no song to it yet, so I'm going to be building that from the ground up. All right, I'm feeling good. Let's see, 12:19. Let's go. Got the guitar plugged in to the computer speakers pretty much. I hope it doesn't mess it up or anything. So this is, I'm working on Autopsy School. So again, I'm going to try to find, so right place, wrong time, early to class on a foggy day, drove the clouds, part the mist, breathe deep after a goodbye kiss. I could just say after a goodbye kiss. Oh yeah, I gotta go back to that other song and say poached egg floats above my head. Okay, see, I'm just going left and right, setting everything up so I can work fast. Okay. You see, thankfully this is not guitar class. Okay, or guitar school. Right place, frog time, early to class on a foggy day. Morning, so I don't really know to. Let's see. Autopsy School. Da, 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 da. The other thing is, with drums, I could just get a drum pattern going. Why don't I try coming up with a drum pattern first? I don't know what's going on there. So, get to the heart of the rhythm. Just like a little start of the verse or whatever. Right place, wrong time, early to class on a foggy day. Drove the clouds, part the mist, breathe deep after a goodbye kiss in the morning, hush radio. I'm naming all these tracks: bass drum, hi-hat, snare, which I loved, guitar. That was a good take of the guitar. I mean, you see, it's not the most exciting part. You know, I'm not gonna. It's not Carlos Santana level stuff. Just piano, right? Okay, so anyway, let's see. Piano sounds great up until that point, but then I kind of want to match what the vocals are doing. Alright, get some kind of atmospheric sound in there, like a delay. Echo. I really like that garbage sound too. Okay. Now this is the one part where I've got to like kind of time it here, right? You know. Okay. All right. I'm not even gonna start until the pattern starts here, but it's just, you know, B and C. Not bad as a solo, but we're going to say goodbye to... Okay, all right, not bad for the chorus there. We're going to change this solo here. It's not bad, it's just what we need to do. Okay? All right. I'm cutting, that's just what it looks like. I'm just cutting a lot of this stuff out. And I'm going to do that for a lot of the song. So I'm trying to think if I should do that before I try to do my vocals. This guitar part I can delete. It's really just remove that track. That was the first guitar part I did. I'm going to keep that other one in there. So I think the way it goes usually is I've got bass drum and the hi-hat going pretty much the whole time through the song. Boops and beeps come in, but I'm not going to do that until maybe the second time the chorus comes in. Snares are going to be on the chorus. And then I think I'll add some other kind of percussion in the background at some point. So I'm just going to edit that out. And what that looks like is, it's hard to do there, but for the boops and the bips, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the first chorus. So I think that's right around here. Okay, so that's right about here. Put a little marker there. And then here's what happens. The boops and the bips. highlight those, and then they go away. Little ode to slapping there at the end. Okay, let's see how that sounds. And then when the snare comes in, it's like, oh great, there's the snare, right? Okay, that's it. I'm done. I've got to stop. I worked a bunch on this today. Good job. Quick wrap up. I said I was going to do the percussion for 3 songs, and I did that, and then I got a very good start on the rest of 2 of those songs. I did some, kind of skipped ahead, did some orchestration. I did not write those lyrics. I kind of started writing some lyrics for, let's see, where is that? For Pancake Trail. But not much there so far. So anyway, good night. Day 1. That's a wrap. Okay, it is Monday, the day after our first day of recording, and it rained really hard last night. One of the things about this album and this album title is that it's called From Norfair on Zebes, and that is the lava level of Metroid. And sometimes that's what I named my studio here in Asheville, North Carolina, because sometimes it feels like I'm in a strange underground world. It rained really hard, and there's some interesting things wrong with our house. One of them is a water issue. So I'm looking around, and it looks like no water has come in. That's good. The first thing I do today, I thought about this when I was in the car coming home through the downpouring rain, was I just wanted to play a guitar solo. So here I go. This is going to be about, my thoughts on my basement flooding and all of the instruments being destroyed. So it's kind of a sad song. We'll see. Getting our deposit back. And it's going to sound a little different than how I recorded it. Okay, so this sounds great. Cool. Feeling good about it. That sounds good. I'll be back. This has gone a lot better than I thought it would so far. This is getting our deposit back, and it really is. Okay. Great. Sounds pretty spooky. So here you go. Great. I think I just got a track done. I mean, I might not use this whole thing. I don't even know how long it is, honestly. Great. This is so cool. Okay. Well, so that's how you get from... I'm nervous about my basement being flooded to, you know, an interesting, like, I think that's cool. Hello, it is Wednesday, the 25th, so I have 2 days, 2 evenings, really, to work on music this week. Today is one of them, and tomorrow is one of them. Clear everything. I wish I had like a whammy pedal or something like that. Okay. So I'm going to put a little bit of guitar's distortion on that. I think it's all really coming together. So, drum the day, drum the night, by the moon blowing off the bay, the bay, the bay. That kind of passed some time. Look at that. Song to help. Numbers zooming high. Race up the grind. Erase it in line. We start over. The pit, the ball. Guacamole Futures. I kick, slip and fall. Caught nothing but a net. Don't remember the details, but I stumbled into a fortune stranger's house. But I feel good, you know. I mean, I feel, you know, music is supposed to confuse, frustrate, ignore you. And so I think this is doing all these things. Like, I think this music is confusing me, frustrating me, ignoring me. It's not annoying me. So I'm gonna like work on the, I'm gonna just, so here's, okay, I'm not gonna record this thing because I'm gonna have my headphones on because I just really can't hear what's going on. I think I'm gonna re-record, so I'm gonna picture me going, oops, picture me going, Guacamole Futures, we had a good run, we had a good run, we had a, you know, because I just have to do that kind of, because I really mean it. I lost money in the stock market this year. Boo-doo-doo-doo, boo-doo-doo-doo. 6:42 p.m. It's a late night over here in Norfair on Zebes. Let's rock. Sampler 2. What is this? This is the like beeplet, and then this is the bass and snare. Now these aren't very smart ideas because it's going to be hard to EQ a track that is both bass and snare. If I had more inputs on my machine here, but that's fine. Now where are these lyrics? Okay. Found myself caught between two words. The pool of dinner made my choice. I was okay. That one's done. Well, that one, you know, I've started the drums for. Okay, the next one is precision dodging. So this one's a little bit more. Right? I don't know what the guitar part's going to sound like. Okay, done for the night. Gonna eat some food. It's a long weekend. and I deserve a long weekend. Dinner time. What do music and cooking have in common? Counting. Boiling 6 cups of water, and I had to count it a bunch of times. My count was off. I lost track of the count. I feel good about what I did today. I hadn't expected to get it all done, and I did. My order can't be captured on the notepad. Home fries crowd the saucer, set aside a bad idea. Red peppers overran the plates, and nothing you had can save it. Out to lunch with an abstract bunch. I cannot be captured. Whoa. Order cannot be captured here. You will not find me. Skeletons of meal buried beneath these boards. Voices from the deep, scratching vinyl, oh, and reaching over infinity. I bet I could do automatic participant really quick. Gosh, I wish I had a pick. All right, I'm going to spend like 30 seconds looking for a pick. Where do they go? Lifting up these cables, lifting up these cables. It doesn't help that 2 of them are the exact same color as the carpet. Wow. Onto the drum machine? No. Onto the keyboard? No, not there. Tap it to end. Let's do it again. Up just a little bit. Gosh, where's the pick? Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Ouch. Okay, that's the best thing I have to a pick, okay? Like a little Santana or something like that. This is what happens when you mess something up slightly. I don't know how to do that. Anyway, let's give it a shot. In Autopsy School. Was that one take? Woo! Good job. I love the bass. I am upstairs with the synthesizer, and I'm going to try to make some bird sounds. Okay, I like that bird. Oh yeah, Harmony Garden is going to contain aspects of whatever the song was just called. All these different birds. So here's where we are right now. I just finished Bittersweet Quilts. Look at this folder. Isn't this beautiful? Look at this. Here we are from Norfair and Zebes. look at that. I have so many songs in there right now, and they're all in order, except for Getting Our Deposit Back, which is actually track 14. I'll rename that later. It's too dangerous. It's a very dangerous view. And look at where I'm at on the album here. So everything that I needed to do, or that I did, I put in green. So these last tracks that remain, we have 9 tracks that have no drums. Asai, I think I know what I'm going to use. It's going to be like a distorted delay. Berries is going to be modular stuff with birds. Close harmony lamp, I don't know yet. Harmony Garden, maybe some more bird stuff. I have a really cool recording I made at the Arboretum. I Love You Overtones, I already did, so I'm going to highlight that in green. If anyone has some great tips on how to use Google Drive, you're too late. Things are going really fast. Humidity's 64 degrees in the basement. Temperature down here is 72.9, so not bad. Today is chores day, so I'm going to do some chores. See ya. Okay, so here we are. This is what it looks like, right? We have kind of everything going on. We have bass drum, snare, hi-hat and claps, cymbal and percussion, claps, that was just me clapping, and then we've got the song down there. So that's like the bass and the guitar and the piano and everything like that. It's funny, I call it echo. It's supposed to be called electric piano. So the idea is you start at the beginning and everything's going on. So okay, so I think what I want to do is, I don't even know where all this stuff came from. Okay, so I think what is this sound? Okay, so I think I might want to have the bass drum be almost not in it at all. So let's see. Like maybe it comes in just for those little parts there. And then just for those little 4 parts at the end. Right? We're sculpting, right? There's a bass drum sound. So just taking all that out, right? So it's just in there in the beginning, right? I like that weird little snare thing, and the claps maybe don't come in until like halfway through each section, right? And yeah, let's just see how that goes. Let's see how it goes with stuff taken out a little bit. Take that down. Good. I'm liking it so far. Let's hear that little ending there. Bada-boom. Okay, we don't want anything to cut off too suddenly, right? So we're just gonna move that back. I'll finish that up later, but you see, you know, if you compare the beginning to the end, it's like I took all of this out, right? And I took some of these parts out, right? And just a little bit goes a long way as far as all that goes. Hold on, I want to be consistent where the hat and the clap aren't happening at the same time as the bass drum is. And, you know, stuff is coming in, stuff is going out, you know. I think I might add like another little special effect happening at some point through the first part here, just for a little bit more variation. But you know what? That is precision dodging, and that's it. Good job. I'm listening back to this, and even though some of it is, you know, it's like, oh no, I can't hear the piano very well in Abstract Brunch, or, you know, this cymbal's way too loud. There's more, you know, this track, for example, this is a close harmony lamp, and this sounds pretty good, you know. You know, I mean, I don't know what it sounds like, but I can hear all the parts consistently, you know. The lamp is coming through loud and clear. It feels like a composition, you know. So this, even though, you know, when my ears hear something like, most of the songs, there's like something that needs to be fixed. One or two of the songs, it's like, this mix is not usable. This is like not helpful at all. But for the most part, like, especially the little snippet songs, it's like, wow, these are pretty much ready to go. This is an example of a mix. This is what is this? Club Free Sandwich. The vocals are too loud, the guitar is too quiet. Drums sound good, but I feel like they could be a little loud. I don't know. Anyway, so a good day of listening, and I got some stuff to do. So I need to just take out most of this and then raise these vocals up here. Okay, because the last part's the cool part. So this is kind of hard to do. All right, I have to like cut this up. So I'm gonna all right, it is June 23rd and it's confirmed. I'm pretty much done. I might mix something here, make something louder there, but everything that's been recorded, everything that's going to be on the album has been recorded. It's just a matter of like turning things up, down a little bit. I listened to it, the whole album in the car today. Well, except track 32. I skipped ahead because I was going to get home. And so, thank you for watching this movie. A quick bird's eye view of the studio. Some of these I used, some of these I didn't. Sorry, my chair's not turning the way that I want it to. It's a recording. Oops. I can't really grab onto anything. Anyway, here's the rest of. Those are the drum machines I used. Okay, just a couple of questions that I've gotten from readers. Hold on, gotta pull this up. And then this is probably the last little section here. Okay. Some people say, Tyler, who are your influences? And, well, I feel like my biggest single influence was the Guinness Book of World Records. And in terms of musical influences, I spent a really long time earlier this year listening to Can, and then after that I spent a really long time listening to Cabaret Voltaire and Throbbing Gristle. And while I feel like I feel like I tried to internalize some of that, this is not really like, I wouldn't be like, I would, if you like Can, you would like me in my band. No, I would say, if you like Can, good luck. There's nothing else like that. If you like Throbbing Gristle, good luck. There's nothing else like it. But have you listened to all of their live records? If you liked, what was the other band I said? Cabaret Voltaire. I'd be like, that's great. What else do you know that sounds like Cabaret Voltaire? Because I listened to 50 records of other bands, and I couldn't find anything that sounded just like it. But that's how I discovered Throbbing Gristle. Okay, next question. So, but before, I think right now on my website it says that my influences are like Roxy Music and Weather Report and things like that. And also right now I just started listening to Miles Davis's Fusion era, so I'm listening to that over and over and over again. Okay, someone else writes and asks, what does gold mop mean? And what is gold mop about? So it goes back to it's a plant. And I had a song called False Indigo, and I just think that gold, it's like, that's kind of the counterpart to False Indigo. And I think that, I picture a gold mop. There's like a lot of mop and like cleaning and restaurant talk on this, but the gold mop is just like a fake wig. Also, wear it on my head, perfect protector, $1 billion better. And I don't know if all the lyrics connect perfectly to that. Well, what are the lyrics? I don't know. I mean, everyone watching you, if you're like me with oh yeah, They Might Be Giants. That's, I think, probably like my like deepest influence. So I just listened to it a lot as a kid. Let's see. Yeah, it's about cleaning and stuff. It's like a literal mop that I wear on my head. So okay. The other question that we have is, how did you learn music? And it's ongoing, and I think in the whole scale of what there is to learn about music, where one's like, I don't know anything, I couldn't tell you what a note is, and this one's like, I could tell you every single chord, I could play every single polyrhythm, I improvise and it brings people to tears, I've won a lot of musical competitions, and I can also conduct, right? I think so. I'm probably maybe on this end of the scale in terms of musical knowledge and ability. But then there's a whole other scale, which I think is like the scale of like moving forward despite pursuit of the vision. For a while, I called myself a sci-fi sandwich artist. Because I feel like sometimes it feels like I'm just assembling a meal, passing it on, assembling a meal, right? But I think there's also genuine moments of creativity. So how did I learn music? I think I had to learn it. So someone that's curious about Tyler, I mean, I took trumpet lessons in middle school. That's why you see me with a trombone sometimes. And my friend Alex played the guitar, and I asked him to tell me about chords. My friend Dan played the piano. We played piano together and sung Beatles songs, and that was my first band called... No, that was my second band. I sang a lot with when my brother took up drums. I sang a lot. And then I had like a little Yamaha kind of keyboard. And I made 20 albums with that thing, just kind of playing whatever. I used the auto accompaniment, but it didn't matter really what chord it was. And then eventually, I got into this very, 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 crude equivalent of jazz playing, where I would, play the chord, and it would be, E on the piano, ba-bam, and I would be like, okay, I can play E. If I'm playing E major, I can play E, but, F doesn't sound that good with E. I'm G doesn't sound that good with E. B sounds good with E. Okay, what about A? Okay, A sounds pretty good with the E major chord. So there's a lot of trial and error, and I think I feel like every error really stung more than it should. So I really had to push past getting things wrong before I started getting things right. And most recently, I feel like then for a while I had a band of my own, and I don't know how it started. I was just recording by myself, right? And then my brother joined, my friend Max joined, and then at one point, I think in this band, the 16 years of this band, we had 52 different members, because we joked about it being able to do a deck of cards. But there was a core septet or something like that. And we made 75 albums. But I think in that process of being able to showing someone and then figuring out what their style was, and then kind of learning to play together a little bit more, I was so stubborn. Gosh, and it was I think probably the single most formative moment of learning to play music was when our guitarist left. Dylan, she was one of our multi-instrumentalist members. Left in the middle of the tour, and we had no guitarist. Sometimes we'd have two guitarists, and it wouldn't matter if one left. But she left in the middle of the tour, and I was the only other person. We had a bass player, keyboard player, drummer. I'm sure Drew could have played keyboard, or could have played the. I think it was Drew, or maybe it was Thor playing bass. But I just had to do it, and eventually I started off playing really rigid simple like bar chords. But I think over the course of, whatever, like 10 or 20 more shows that we had on that tour, I picked it up and became a lot more comfortable, and I was just like playing afterwards. Whereas before, it was really tough to power through. Like if you were like, hey, Tyler, play like E, I'd be like, okay. Or I'd try to play everything as a triad. So I'd be like, okay. And then they'd say, okay, now play A, and I'd be like, oh gosh. And I think if you're taking guitar classes, and I taught guitar classes for a while, you just learn the like, there's E, there's A. Well, whoops. That's a general idea. I'm still not that good at these. I do the hard way. That's how I learned that. Anyway, so then you learn about scales and stuff, and you learn about playing outside of scales and stuff like that. And then, with rhythms and everything like that, it's just a trial and error. I think I learned rhythms by recording like one drum at once. There was like a middle period of James Rabbit where sometimes there were band members, but sometimes not, and I would record a whole album by myself. And you do the bass drum part, and you're like, or it probably wouldn't be that sophisticated. It probably would have just been like, right. But then eventually, you get to a point where you're like, okay, but I can kind of hear what else is going to come next. So learning how to do a couple of different things that also informed my guitar playing. I think the second most formative time. You go ahead and stop this video whenever you get too bored. The second most formative time was when the house that we were living in got torn down, and I lived by myself, maybe like 45 minutes away from where I worked. I worked in Santa Cruz, but I lived in Salinas for maybe like 8 of the longest months of my life. And I just had a really terrible couple of first weeks there. I'd like come home from work, I'd be so tired, and then I'd go to McDonald's, and I'd be like, I can have whatever I want here, and I'd eat it. I'd come home, I wouldn't want to do anything, I'd watch, something on TV, and then stay up really late, and then it would just be a miserable cycle. And after a while, I think I took up running, right? But I remember one day I went to the supermarket, I bought some ribs, I ate them, and then I ran, and I was like, why did I do that? That feels terrible. So I was like, I need to run first and then eat ribs, so I did that. But that helped me put together a whole schedule for, so number one, Dylan leaving the tour. Number 2, eating ribs and running. Because then what happened was I had a schedule where every hour of the day, it's like I get home at like 5 o'clock, and then from 5 to 6, I ran or did some other kind of exercise. From 6 to 7, I cooked and ate. From 7 to 8, so then I had 2 hours of music. I would spend 1 hour playing the piano and or like demoing a song, and 1 hour playing the guitar. And I still am not, I think of myself as really, the guitar is definitely a weakness of mine. But what I would do is I would like play along to blues records, I would play along to Fela Kuti, and I would play along to the meters. And there was a part early, and I can't do it again. I don't know what the name of the song is, but it's like I feel like I had to channel like old Tyler, where it was like with the meters with a lot of like these like 2-note guitar, like it's not that great right now, but I used to do that. And then with blues, I feel like I learned a lot about soloing and stuff like that. Fela Kuti, same thing. It was just like being able to do something like over and just being okay with playing this chord for like 20 minutes. And ways to find out how to do it so you're not hurting your arm and things like that. I'm sorry I changed chords, but so, and then just lots and lots of trial and error. I did a lot of extended techniques in that time. I read about Derek Bailey, and you know, I've just been trying things. I listened to tons and tons of music, you know, when I'm not listening to myself. What else? I don't know. I just try to be, try to keep going with that. And it's good practice to make albums, because then it's like I am doing the piano, I'm doing the bass, I'm doing the guitar, I'm doing percussion, I'm doing like a wind instrument or something like that. So staying in practice. I'd love to play with a band again. Hopefully between now and 2025, when you see this video, I will have played with a band, you know, because I feel like I could really do some good stuff. I think it's been about 5 years, I think, since I played. No, let's say 4.5 years with a band. But I feel like it's been like 5 years since I've been like really like creatively involved with a band. Okay, well, the next thing I'm gonna do right now, I've got about 10 minutes before I start cooking dinner. I have an octuple start point. I'm gonna try to set up the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the other computer. I'm going to generate some tones inside of that computer and scoot it around, because the prompt for the next songwriting club is, I think it's start with an instrument you don't usually use. And so that instrument is just a computer by itself without any instruments. So anyway, I hope you're doing good. And if there's any way to come back and share some good like tips about the future with me, let me know. My email is, well, maybe I shouldn't give that away, but you'll find me in the internet. If you found this, you could send me a message. So that's it. Oh yeah, one last thing. To my son, who's going to be 2.5, almost 2.5. Boop 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 boop. Boop 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 boop. And what daycare did you end up going to?